right, well, let's get into it. I am so excited to share this draft with you. I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting since last night. I felt like a kid before Christmas.
I'm excited.
Oh, man. All right,
see
Jeff.
what happened.
Alex, if we could put it on the screen, I've got a beautiful surprise for all of you this morning. I traded the number 2 overall pick. I went back a few spots. I went to number 5.
Still got Aiden.
And I still got Aiden Hutchinson. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What the hell is going on?
What the hell's going on?
I was able to trade back for the number 5 pick, and I was also able to trade the 2nd round pick and the 6th, 7th. I was able to move up in the 2nd. So I ended up having the 34th, the 37th, and the 40th overall pick in the 2nd rounds. I was able to get 3 third round picks. And then, of course, a nice 4th with Mitchell and Cook. But I'll go in order. Let's start with the edge rusher out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson. Jeff, what do you think?
I like it. At number 5,
Surprised,
but honestly,
my intention was not to take Aiden Hutchinson. That's why I traded back, right?
Who was available at number 5? Aiden and...
Well, it was just Aiden,
then,
really.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the obvious
no-brainer,
answer.
No-brainer.
My concept was I wanted to trade back and not end up with Kayvon or Aiden. I traded back and I ended up with Aiden. It made no sense. It was really frustrating. But regardless of the point,
still got Jaquan.
I traded back on the 32nd pick. Yes, the 5th-year option is very valuable to me, but I did trade it back. I was able to get the 40th pick and a later 3rd-round pick as well. Here we go, Jaquan Brisker, safety out of Penn State. I took him number 34.
Yeah.
Number 37, I addressed the linebacker position with Leo Chanel, linebacker out of Wisconsin, who I think is an absolute home run winner. And then who falls in my lap at number 40? I can't pass on him. Look, the linebacker position, guys, same with edge. You can't have enough of them.
No, you can't.
And Christian Harris was on the board. I'm not passing on Christian Harris.
Yeah, you might lose Alexander.
I was going to go for Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State. Obviously, a guy I'm a huge fan of. He was available at 40. But the idea of having those 2 linebackers I thought would be a huge help to the Detroit Lions. And, of course, I was able to walk away with an edge rusher at 66. A guy who I thought had an excellent combine, who wasn't getting talked enough, Josh Peshkel out of Kentucky, had a very good showing at the NFL Combine. And then, of course, number 69, the guy I expected to be there.
That's crazy value. Number 69, John Mechie.
The guy I expected to be there was John Mechie, and he was. Look, I'll be honest with you. If there's one thing I'm not comfortable with this draft is the lack of receivers I drafted. But you know what? I love what I've gotten so far. And now it gets interesting. Number 101, who was on the board I could not pass on?
Dalvin Cook's
Look,
little
I
brother.
understand the Lions have an offensive line that anybody can run behind. I understand they have Jamal Williams. I understand they have DeAndre Swift. But my God, in the 4th round, James Cook, high value for a running back. I could not pass on it.
No.
And a lot of my strategy is I'm trying to fill the Lions' needs right now, correct?
Yeah.
But I also have players on the board I can't pass up. I can't pass on a Christian Harris at 40. I can't pass on a Josh Pascal at 66, Mechie at 69. And really, I did most of my work here between the 2nd and 3rd rounds. 5 picks between rounds 2 and 3. And then we go to the safety at 110, a guy I think has tremendous value. Byron Cook out of Cincinnati. And then, of course, we top it off addressing a backup tight end, James Mitchell, who was less than impressive at the NFL Combine, but I thought he played very well. But, Jeff, Aiden Hutchinson at 5, Brisker at 34, Chanel at 37, Harris at 40. What are we thinking about this?
I like it. I mean, you went defense for the first 4, and I think that's a very realistic option for the Lions, especially who's going to be there in the depth in this draft. I like the back-to-back linebackers. You took a running back late, which, I don't mind at all, considering we do have Jamal Williams for one more year, but still. I mean, you're just getting depth. And you got the tight end James Mitchell late, 7th round. I mean, I think you got great value. And John Mechie, although you maybe didn't get the big outside receiver, you still got a receiver that fell to you in your lap because of injury. If he wasn't injured, Mechie would be a, early 2nd-round pick? I love it. I think you got great value.
I got a lot of defensive players. This team needs help defensively. They need a wide receiver.
Yeah, 2 safeties, 2 linebackers.
2 safeties, 2 linebackers, 2 edge rushers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was kind of why I kind of hinted at it earlier. How do you feel about taking the same position twice in the first 4 picks? And that's what I did. I went edge, safety, linebacker. And then we went edge again. And then we went running back. receiver, then running back, and then safety again. So you have depth at safety. You have depth at linebacker. You've gotten 2 edge rushers. I feel like it's a strong draft positionally. Now, whether you agree with the players or not, look, you can do your own mock draft. But
right.
What I'm trying to aim for is, am I addressing your positional needs? Am I getting value at the position I'm selecting? And to be honest with you, again, guys, my intention was not to select Aiden or Thibodeau. But God damn it, the guy was there at 5. What the hell you want me to do about it? Now, for the sake of argument, my draft strategy going into this mock was I wanted to fall back as low as 8, 9, or 10, and I wanted to select Devin Lloyd. That was my goal with this mock draft. I wanted to trade back to 5, Jeff. Then I wanted to trade with Denver. But Aiden at 5, you don't pass on.
Yeah, you don't.
So that kind of destroyed my plans there. I got to 32. I didn't love anybody at 32. The receivers were all taken. Jahan Dotson was taken. There was nobody available for me, at least wide receiver-wise. And that's where things kind of got interesting. Christian Watson was available to me at, I believe, 40. But I wanted the linebacker. I definitely wanted the linebacker. And I wasn't comfortable taking Christian Watson at 40. And I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a very similar built player. So that was a difficult decision for me. And I knew I would be able to get Mechie. That was kind of the hack, right? I knew Mechie was falling to 69. I just knew it. And I knew come 3rd round he would be available. So I took advantage of that. But my whole concept with this draft was I actually wanted to trade back and get Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd is the guy I'm the highest on. I really wanted him. But God damn it, I ended up with Aiden Hutchinson. I didn't even want him.
Yeah. No brainer.
What the hell is he doing at 5? So, just to rework it a little bit, let's say I trade back to 9. Well, then I'm going to get the number 42 pick as well. And I'm getting a Devin Lloyd. I'm probably trading that 32 pick again. Not changing my mind. And then it's going Brisker, Chenal, Harris. And I can probably get a Christian Watson on top of a Pascal, Mechie, Cook, and Mitchell. That's a hell of a haul. I feel like I got a lot of value, Jeff. I really feel like this draft is, again, I took 2 at 3 different positions, right? I only need one of them to hit. I got 2 edge rushers. One of them needs to be a home run. I got 2 safeties. I expect the one I took higher to be a home run. I love the pick, man. Love the pick. Your final thoughts before we go.
I think the best part about specifically this draft too is you have that right to trade back and get multiple picks because there's so much depth in this draft, and you kind of showed why with those picks. You traded back, and although you don't have that 5th-year option, you still were able to find talented players and guys that can contribute right away. So I like the draft, and I'm excited because next Monday I will be doing trades. I will be spicing it up, but I did make some changes this week to my mock draft, so I'm excited to get to it.
Yeah, good. Look, again, like I went into this draft not expecting to take Aiden or an edge rusher at 5. I expected to get a linebacker at 8, 9, or 10.
It's like Penei Sewell. He fell to you.
He fell, and not only that, I wasn't planning on getting a running back, and there he was.
Right.
And how do you pass on James Cook? You don't. I didn't. You just don't. But let's go to a quick break. When we get back, I want to see Jeff's mock draft. I'm so excited for this.
Alex, if you could put my draft up for me, I can walk you guys through this because my mindset doing this mock draft is last week I took Aiden Hutchinson with number 2. I didn't do any trades in the draft. I kind of want to take that same approach, but I want to change it up. So, Kayvon. Aiden actually went number 1. He went to Jacksonville. So it put me in a situation where I went Kayvon or Kyle Hamilton. And honestly, I almost took Kyle Hamilton, but I thought to myself...
I see a guy on there you brought up earlier who had a really good combine. I like it. I did.
Kayvon Thibodeau took him at number 2. I know there's questions, and I didn't like... I want to get this out the way. Wasn't a fan of Kayvon coming out and saying, all right, I'm done with my draft combine. It's going to be a long day. I didn't really like that, but at the end of the day, he's so damn talented. So give me Kayvon at number 2. Number 32, Jaquan Brisker. Me and Adam think alike in that area. I think he's my favorite safety in this draft. Lewis Seen was there as well. So they're going to have their cream of the crop, who they want. And I took Jaquan Brisker. I think he's a talented safety. So give me Jaquan at 32. You get the 5th-year option on him, a guy that I think can immediately come in and contribute. And guess who fell to me at 34? Jahan Dotson. And I didn't think twice. I pulled the trigger. It was either him or David Bell, and I thought, listen, even though he doesn't fit the mold of what the Lions want as a big outside receiver, he's a guy that can come in immediately. You can maybe move him on outside. You can move him around. You have Jahan Dotson now that can play different positions. So give me Jahan Dotson at 34. I love the value. Fell to me in the early second round, so no-brainer for me. I wanted to address the linebacker position as soon as possible, so that's why at number 66, Brian Asamoah from Oklahoma, a guy that, an athletic freak, a guy that I actually really like himself. And I thought to myself, Brian Asamoah, linebacker, we do need to address the position. So I took Brian Asamoah at 66, and the guy that I mentioned earlier, Amari Barno, edge, Virginia Tech, an athletic freak, a guy who ran the 40, I think the fastest 40 out of all the edge rushers. I think it was 4.3 something, 4.39. So easily had to go Amari Barno, address that edge rusher. So I got two edge rushers almost in the top 100 picks. Then, Jack Jones, number 175, a cornerback out of Arizona State, a guy that produced, gave a lot of effort. He had 3 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions this year. He is a senior, but they were able to still address that cornerback position and add more depth. And that's when I slid all the way to number 180. Jelani Woods fell to me. I'm just drafting freak after freak. Another 6'7", athletic, ran one of the quickest 40s, if not the fastest 40, I believe, out of all the tight ends, and someone that could come in and immediately be kind of a different option from TJ Hockenson. You have TJ, your prototypical tight end, and then you had Jelani Woods right next to him, a big
You got
freak of nature.
insane value at 66. Just looking at this,
Yeah.
66, I think, is your best selection given value at the pick, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that you got Brian Asamoah out of Oklahoma at 66 is a home run.
Yeah. I think it was Christian Harris. There's a couple guys.
Christian Harris fell to 66.
He did,
Get the
which
hell
was
out of
weird.
here.
Yeah, it was very weird. I saw...
See, on your board, Jahan Dotson was available. Never in mine. Not one time did he go past 32.
so weird how these work.
He was never available.
Yeah. It made no sense. So I took Brian Asamoah. I think my first 4 picks could be starters. So I like it. And then we go on. Listen, I want to explain the Charleston Rambo pick because I know a lot of people are like, what the hell? And I get it. Charleston Rambo, his combine numbers weren't very great. But it's someone that I thought in the 6th round, for a guy that was very productive at Miami.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing a 6th or 7th round pick.
Yeah, I know
traded
people
them all away.
And I get it. Like people, and Charleston Rambo, he has his questions. He's not the prototypical guy we want. He doesn't run a 4.3, but still a guy that it's kind of opposites. You have Jahan Dotson, a 5'10", 5'11" guy you can use in different ways. Found a guy 6'1" who I think could still contribute. And then obviously 7th round pick. I just wanted to take another linebacker. So give me Aaron Hansford out of Texas A&M. So I was able to address 2 linebackers. I got 2 edge rushers. I got a tight end. Got a wide receiver, and still found a way to pick up 2 other wide receivers and a tight end. So I kind of got a little bit of everything. But the biggest thing I took from it is if Aiden Hutchinson goes number 1 for whatever reason, and the Jags decide screw protecting Trevor Lawrence, we're going edge rusher. I took Kayvon.
I'm not concerned with the 40 time at Dotson. Look, I think he's probably one of the smoothest route runners outside of Jamison Williams in the draft. Maybe Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson. I think they're all very good. I don't have an issue with that. I like Funky's comment. All 4 need to be starters. Real talk. The first 4 need to be starters. I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
I think picks 2, 32, 34, and 66 must be starters. Mm-hmm. I am with that mindset 100,000%.
And I want to say this too. I didn't pick guys because of their 40 time. I think the 40 time just is it's like icing on the cake. I think Jelani Woods is the best tight end. I mean, he's one of the best tight ends. So I pick him because he was there late in the draft, not because he ran the fastest 40. I think that's
if
a bonus.
Aiden's available at 2, you taking him?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, how do you feel about this notion, it is a question in the chat, that he's a one-move edge rusher?
I mean, listen, everyone can say what they want. I think the one move edge rusher, the guy, it's production. And Aiden Hutchinson does it. You've seen his cone drill, excellent. I mean, the guy has elite skills. He has comparable combine stats to Bosa, the Bosa brothers. Like I don't know what people want from him. You can say and all you want, listen, he has one move. But in reality, the guy's going to be productive. I don't believe in any of that. Kayvon Thibodeau, there's questions about all these guys. Kayvon, work ethic, mindset. Does he want it enough? Does he have the motor that Aiden does? I mean, I don't really take too much consideration into, what people, all these critiques they have about Aiden Hutchinson. I'm good with it. I like him as a player. I watched him play. I think he's going to be a great player, so I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, look, I'm not. I think it's, we're nitpicking at this point.
Yeah.
One-move guy. Really? Now, can he get better at other edge rushing moves, whether it's finesse, power? Sure. He's a rookie going into the NFL. He'll be fine. And even with his current build, I think he's due for at least 8.5 sacks, 9 sacks, year one. And then we can start talking about 11, 12. And maybe 14, 15, 16, year three, where he becomes probably an all-pro. Because that's the projection you have to have as an edge rusher taking that high, in my opinion. I expect 35 to 40 sacks within the first 3 years. 8, 9.5, 10 sacks, maybe year one. 10 would be great, but not a must. Year two, you got to be in the double digits. And year three, you kind of take that level of, all right, yeah, I'm starting to develop into one of the best players in the league. That's how it works, whether it's Kayvon or Aiden. And I think Aiden is the safer pick. And not safer in terms of, oh, he's got more of a higher floor. No. I trust him more to reach his ceiling, Jeff, than Kayvon Thibodeau.
I would agree with you. And what bothered me most over the weekend is when Kayvon only ran the 40 and he did the bench press and he called it quits. He's like, I'm done for the day. I'm out. I think he mentioned something about it's going to be a long day. Like that stuff does kind of irk me. And maybe people think, well, maybe if he goes to the Lions, he goes to Dan Campbell, this culture will help change that. But again, like I'm taking, in my opinion, who I like, and it's Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm going with him every single time. You all can disagree. That's fine with me. But I'm sticking with Aiden. That's my guy. Kayvon, I'm still valuing the edge rusher. I could have took Kyle Hamilton, and honestly, it was hard not to. I sat there for like 10 minutes deciding. I just still went edge rusher. I went Kayvon Thibodeau. So
if you want to comp Aiden Hutchinson to TJ Watt, did I just say something ridiculous? In terms of asking 35 to 40 sacks from the number 2 overall pick?
No.
Am I asking for much?
No.
I don't think so, and I'm going to break down TJ Watt. 7 sacks year one. I told you 8 to 9.5 sacks is kind of what I'd aim for. Not bad, pretty close. 13 sacks year 2, 14.5 year 3, where he became an all-pro player and a Pro Bowler. Yeah, that's reasonable expectations for the number 2 overall pick. And that's coming out of a kid who's taken number 30. Aiden Hutchinson should be able to deliver you 35 to 40 sacks. TJ Watt in the first 3 years gave you 36.5, I believe, in total.
Yeah.
Not bad. 35 to 40 should be the precedent, should be the mark. Hell, 32 to 38. If he's between those two numbers, you're happy. It means you hit on the pick. It means he's contributing to your defense. That should be the expectation, in my opinion, for the number 2 overall edge rusher if you do select him. And I want to switch a little bit, just a little bit, because after this, we got a special surprise for everybody at home. You guys all submitted your mock drafts over the weekend and really throughout all of last week.
Yes.
And we're going to showcase them on the show, obviously, in the next segment at 9:26, 9:27-ish. So in a few minutes. But Jeff, my question for you. But TJ didn't go second overall. Yes, Eric, that's the point. That's the point. This is the number 2 overall pick. I have high expectations of this player. I am getting the second best player from a given draft class. I expect him to produce in his first 3 years. Yes, I do. It's not a tall order. I'm not asking a lot. I'm just asking for you to be the player I selected number 2 overall. That's why Kyle Hamilton at number 2 doesn't make any sense. I don't care how good he is. He would not be able to deliver enough impact, even if he was an all-pro safety, to you winning football games. An edge rusher can. A quarterback can.
Right.
Protecting the quarterback can. Having a wide receiver can. And you guys are so caught up in this idea, Jeff, that you need size at wide receiver. Do you? You have size with TJ Hawkinson. That's your size. That's your size. The Chiefs have won a Super Bowl and have been to 2 with Tyreek Hill as their number 1. You don't need size, right? We fall in love with big, obvious things. You can build a scheme around, I don't know, the Kansas City model. You have a premier tight end, big. You have a speedy wide receiver. Now, it may not be Tyreek Hill speed, but a Jahan Dotson, right? One of those guys who can run really exceptional routes. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown emerging. And then next year, you may draft a quarterback. Kansas City. where the Lions are actually good, but they have a quarterback sitting there waiting. And the Lions next year will have 2 first-round picks, where they'll be able to trade up into a top 10 position to get the quarterback they want. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Even if they're selecting at 18 and 32 or 18 and 24, they're going to be able to package those 2 picks with a future pick to go and get their guy, if they do choose to. And then they become like the Kansas City Chiefs model, where they can sit a guy for a year behind Jared Goff and then turn the switch on. We have a roster. We're ready to compete. Let's go for it. That is the Detroit Lions timetable, in my opinion.
I agree with you. And that's what I've been screaming about. Don't draft Malik Willis this year.
Yeah,
Easy. Unless he falls to you.
Easy says Kayvon Thibodeau is tanking his stock on purpose. Dude, no, because of the money involved. Because there's a big difference in money made from 1 to 10. And 2, okay, maybe he doesn't want to go to Jacksonville or Houston. But you think he falls past 3? You think he's going to a New York market? I don't think so. I don't. Whatever concerns you have with him, he's a hell of a talent. And it's going to be tough for a GM between 1 and 3 to pass on him. Now, what you can tell me is Adam, Houston could trade back, and somebody who wants Kayvon enough could trade up and get him, sure. But I see Kayvon maybe falling to 4, 5 at worst. New York, the Jets are not passing on him, and neither are the Giants. So he's not going out of the top 5. So what do we mean by tanking his draft position? All right, wants Willis at number 2. I'm not even going to comment on that. I'm really not. Hey, you made it all the way through. I'm so proud of you. Why don't you make me more proud? Like, subscribe, and watch another video.